Hello, and welcome to the first year of WWE's ECW, the show where we take a look back at the first 52 episodes of WWE's re-envisioning of Extreme Championship Wrestling. Commander-in-Chief Vince McMahon is on the premises tonight. McMahon first bumps into the alpha male Marcus Corvon backstage, who he praises as a breath of fresh air to the ECW brand. Next, McMahon bumps into Sandman, who is reading a newspaper and drinking a can of lager. No surprises there. McMahon is angered and asks Sandman, "Are you drinking on the job?" Sandman ignores Vince and continues to read the paper and get pissed. On the job. Vince tells Sandman that he will find his remarks very interesting tonight, to which Sandman replies by smashing a perfectly good beer over his head. What a waste. After Drowning Pool tells us that the bodies are going to hit the floor, we are greeted by our usual commentary team of Joey Styles and Taz, who inform us that tonight, Vince McMahon is here to shake things up on ECW. To get the action started for the night, it's Straight Edge Phil, who lasted 28 minutes in the recent 2007 Royal Rumble match, making him the longest lasting ECW roster member in that Royal Rumble. Well done, Punk. Tonight Phil is taking on our school teacher Matt Striker, and as per usual, his knob looks obscene in those trunks. Punk starts off the match well, hitting a massive drop kick, followed by a power slam, and then knocks Striker to the outside with a clothesline over the top rope. Punk tries to re-enter the ring when Striker uses the ropes to swing the momentum in his favour. After breaking out of a chin lock, Punk goes on the offensive, eventually hitting a knee in the corner, followed by a bulldog. Phil then hits a backbreaker, goes for the cover, but only gets a 2. Later on, after launching himself over the top of Matt Striker, Punk tries to go for a pin, but our school teacher manages to pin Punk instead and use the ropes to help him pick up the win. On the previous episode in this series, the main event was Bobby Lashley versus Test for the ECW World title, which was weird considering that they were both facing each other at the upcoming Royal Rumble pay-per-view in less than a week's time. So Lashley wins the first match clean, then beats Test again at the Royal Rumble via a countout. So what's the main event tonight? Yep, you guessed it, it's Bobby versus Test for the title again. The match so nice they did it thrice. Tell me you're out of ideas without telling me you're out of ideas. Backstage, Vince McMahon bumps into the world's worst interviewer Rebecca, who gives him an awkward hug before wandering off. Vince then says, "Tommy Dreamer, the innovator of violence, right?" Vince tells Tommy that Dreamer is a stupid name and that he doesn't deal in dreams, he deals in reality. Wow, nice insult, Vince. Back to the ring for some more action now, as everybody's favourite Rob Van Dam takes on Hardcore Holly. A while ago, Holly and Van Dam had our first 5-star match of the series, so it'll be no surprise to you that this was another good bout put on by these two great wrestlers. Towards the end of the bout, Van Dam hits Rolling Thunder, but Holly kicks out just before 3. Shortly afterwards, Holly turns things around when he hits a powerbomb on Van Dam. He goes for the cover, but only gets 2. Holly goes to the top rope, but RVD hits the rope, sending Bob down on his nutsack. This doesn't stop Holly, as he pushes RVD off the turnbuckle and then goes to hit a move, but gets caught by Van Dam with a spinning kick. Van Dam goes to hit a 5-star frog splash, but Holly rolls out of the way. Next, Bob hits a weak Alabama slammer. He doesn't go for the pin and instead chucks RVD shoulder first into the ring post. Holly then hits another Alabama slammer, this one better than the last, and gets the 3 count for the win. Vince McMahon continues his tour of the backstage area, next bumping into Sabu. He says, and I quote,
"I thought I was in Texas. Hell, I'm not in Texas, I'm in Afghanistan. Look boys, it's a member of the Taliban."
Oh my word. He continues,
"Wait a minute, I know you. You're that Sabu, the great Sabu. You're that homicidal, genocidal, suicidal guy. Yeah, you stay the hell away from me."
After a short commercial break, we're back with Vince backstage, who bumps into Balls Mahoney, presumably rocking out to some King Diamond. Vince says, "Hey, it's Balls Mahoney, right?" "Mahoney, Irish?" Balls says, "Yeah, just like you." Vince says, "No, not like me, because you don't look anything like me. I bet you're from Northern Ireland." "See, that's not Ireland, you're not Irish." "Mahoney, I kinda like the ring of the last name, but the first name, Balls. You know what, tonight, we just might find out if you have any." Brooke, Layla and Kelly, aka the world's worst dance trio Extreme Expose, are back again this week. presumably to not wow the crowd with their amateur dance moves, but to have the audience members that are attracted to the female form gawk at their tits and arse as they shake them about in the ring. Eventually they're cut off by Vince McMahon's music. He tells the girls to get out of the ring and says maybe we'll see you next week. Lucky us, more terrible dancing. He then tells his security team to hit the bricks as he don't need them. Vince says that tonight he's making history by stepping foot for the first time ever in an ECW ring. He says that after meeting some of the ECW originals earlier tonight that he thinks they suck. Matter of fact, anything about the original ECW sucks. I'm going to turn ECW into something meaningful. What we need here in ECW is athletes with charisma, athletes of extraordinary physical prowess. What we don't need is a bunch of drunken, suicidal misfits. Vince then introduces us to someone who is the epitome of the new ECW, Elijah Burke. There's some arse licking from Vince to Elijah, and then some from Elijah to Vince. Elijah tells Vince that those ECW originals are going to feel my wrath. They are going to feel my power, as they are laying in this ring looking up at the lights after they've just been given an experience like none other, the Elijah experience. Then the ECW music hits as Sandman storms down to the ring where he starts scrapping with Elijah. Not long after, more ECW originals like Tommy Dreamer, Balls Mahoney and Sabu make their way down to the ring to help give Elijah Burke a beating. Sabu then hits a beautiful Arabian facebuster on Burke through a table. The ECW originals stand tall as a pissed off McMahon looks on from the entrance ramp. It's main event time, folks. ECW World Champion Bobby Lashley defends his title against Andrew aka Test for the third time in a row. This match spills to the outside early on. Andrew starts to rip up one of the mats on the outside and goes to hit a powerbomb. Lashley manages to counter and Test lands partly on the concrete. The rest of the match is pretty decent considering they only had 4 minutes until the end of the episode. It's fast paced and hard hitting action from these two absolute units, just what you like to see. After hitting a beautiful T-bone suplex, Lashley lines up Test for a running power slam to get the victory and retain the ECW World Championship. No surprises there. Not sure why we've had to witness this 3 times now. Hopefully that's the last. And just when you think this episode is over, the lights go out, the gong hits, and the dead man makes referee Mickey Henson shit his pants. The 2007 Royal Rumble winner stares out the champion, then delivers a chokeslam to Andrew before he can take out Lashley with a chair shot. The Undertaker's second appearance on the ECW brand. I never thought we'd see the day. This was a decent episode of ECW. The Vince McMahon segments backstage kept me entertained, and the action in the ring wasn't bad either. Nice to have a good one to come back to. With that said, I think it's only fair to give episode 33 of ECW 3 out of 5 stars. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.